So how do you feel about like
I
oatmeal
literally
toppings?
hate when you do this.
Oh man, I would say strawberries number one,
Yes.
blueberries two, bananas three.
A little
I know.
layer of sugar on top?
Oh yeah, brown sugar on it
Yes.
on oatmeal.
Yes.
Just gonna
Got to do brown
accept
sugar on the oatmeal.
that this is
Normal
happening
sugar,
right
not as
now.
good. Do you guys put sugar in your cereal?
I have.
Hey, let's jump into this.
No, dude, Rice Krispies,
Shut
like
up.
Rice
Shut up.
Krispies with a layer of sugar. No
Oh
joke,
my
no joke.
god.
So good, so good.
Really,
All
I've
right, go
never
ahead,
tried
kid.
that.
It's actually really good.
Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly
Wait, what
recap
about
show.
Cheerios?
Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly recap show.
Good week up.
Hey guys,
You're killing it, Caleb.
I'm just gonna keep doing it. Hey guys, welcome back to the weekly recap show. Sorry that these guys are stupid and ruined the
I think
entire
we're
intro.
hilarious.
I know I'm hilarious.
We're back this week going over episode 32, The Dragon Fight, with Jacob, our DM, Michael, who plays Braun, and Zach, our host for this show, / guest / question person, which will change in
The
chapter
old
2.
Question person.
The old question. I don't want to call you the question master because it sounds like question master because it sounds like a
You got
drinking
it.
game. But all right. Yeah. So jumping into this episode, it was pretty much just a dragon fight, just like last episode was just a Medusa fight. There's
We're getting
probably
them fights in so that we can do multiple shopping episodes in a row.
no,
Love it.
no. We will not be doing that. We hopefully will only have a couple episodes. Probably, honestly, only about 2 more episodes left, depending on how 2 to 3 more episodes left. Stop it. Depending on how it goes with this
I would
tournament.
say probably 4.
Jake, we can't give them another month before we're ready for this.
Yeah, we can.
All
Are
right.
we ready in a month?
Yeah.
Aye, Captain.
All right.
Anyway.
Anyways, however long it takes, we have one story arc left before chapter 2 starts.
See, that's a much better way of putting it.
We're getting everything done. We've got we're starting up on our music. So music for especially this show. Like right now, you're hearing just some general fantasy background music, which will probably change to a little bit more upbeat. During the show, we're hoping to have a more structured way of doing the music, which Hunter is currently in charge of. But we'll see how that goes. And then we've also got the new intro coming. We've got also some new art coming, hopefully soon. And what am I missing? Oh, the full recap of the entire chapter 1. So look for all of that
That'll
coming
probably
out.
be mid to late November.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're not even going to release it until the end of chapter 1 anyway. So we have a little time to do that. But until then, we have a dragon fight that we're going to talk about today, and then we have some nice stuff going on in Amon in the upcoming episodes, which haven't happened yet, so we actually don't know what's happening with those. But, anyways, getting into the dragon fight, it was right after the Medusa fight. So after the Medusa fight, we had Braun head back to Amon and drop off the Medusa's head, hands, and feet.
Because it's Medusa.
Oh my god. Head, hands, and feet to the Slayer's take, while also taking the payment that we got and a magic item that they gave us at random. The thing that Michael ended up rolling for at random was a chain chest piece that was a +3 to armor, and I believe Thea took that, so her AC as a cleric is high, which is what you generally want of your cleric, even though she was getting hit pretty hard during the last fight. Good segue into the fight. So Michael comes back from Amon. We all join up and we head up to the dragon. And when we get there, it's there's like a big sand, like desert kind of thing that we have to move through. A couple obstacles, a couple holes that some of our characters fell into while we were walking. Got out of those pretty quickly. Moved up. There was a little village at the base of the mountain. In that village, I unintentionally was a douchebag to one of the characters.
It was intentional. You know it was.
It was intentional because I was making a joke, and then after Jacob actually said roll, I was like, okay, I guess it's actually happening. I was going to let it kind of be like more of a joke thing, but I was like, you know what? Let's just see what happens here.
You said it in character.
I did, yes. Animus is currently in a weird place with working for a demon. I actually am kind of trying to intentionally play him a little bit darker as this goes on without giving up too much. Me and Jacob discussed that months and months and months back, like way back in like over winter. I think we talked about changes to my character's behavior, and Jacob's like, you're just gonna have to see what happens because it's gonna be how you play it. And I was like, all right. So yeah, basically Zygon had a jug that can fill, like it's an infinite jug. You can only use 8 gallons a day, so it's not completely infinite, but it fills up every single day.
At home, it's called an alchemist's jug.
Yes, alchemist's jug. So basically, you can switch whatever liquid. He always had wine in there or an ale or something that he'd drink, but we switched it to water. He was drinking it in the town, and me and him taunted them because they were very low on water, and the guard in the town smashed the jug because he got mad for us taunting him. Rightly so. It was deserved that I was being a douchebag. I feel bad because that was one of Zygon's thing, but he was taunting him too, so I don't feel too bad. But that same guard, he was one of the last males in the town. There was like another like little boy in the town, but there were not males there for whatever reason. So he actually took us up to the dragon fight. He said, he was telling us like, hey, there have been a lot of other groups coming through here. We are doing really badly. Like we're on the brink of pretty much just everyone giving up and dying. He didn't say that, but for the most part, that's what the town was at. That was the point they were at. So yeah, we traveled up, left our horses and cart, obviously, so they don't die. And he let us move up to the mountain. He left us there because he didn't want to participate in the fight. We got up there and started the dragon fight. Dragon comes down whenever we got up there to a kind of like a ruin area. Flew down, said some weird shit.
What those ruins are.
Yes. The ruins of our one-shot, or a one-shot that was headed by Michael a couple, or like 2 or 3 months ago, whenever my wedding happened and my honeymoon happened. Michael ran a one-shot
when his own wedding was.
that Zach and Jacob took part in, as well as a couple other of our players. It was really fun. I will be editing that into a mini-series, I've decided. It's going to be probably 30 to 40-minute episodes. That should make up about 7 or 8 episodes total, just so it's more of a breakdown. It's not just a, hey, I have to watch 3 hours at a time. Those should be coming out soon, but that's where the ruins are. They're in this town that had been played with the characters, and in this time that Michael had been created, which was hundreds of years in the past. A little statue to Sheldon was in this town. So we read that. Obviously, our characters have no idea who Sheldon is. And then the dragon pops out of nowhere, well, from the sky, not really nowhere, comes down, says some shit, and we start the fight. And immediately he uses a breath attack on a couple of us. I got hit on that, and I think Abby got hit on that too, and frightened most of the group, including Braun. Braun was frightened, and we gotten to a pretty cool dragon fight. If you guys want to watch that, it'll be up on YouTube this week, and should be up on YouTube if you guys are watching. Yeah, that'll be gone by most people seeing this for the most part, though.
Well, that's true. But if you're watching live, you can go watch that after this.
Yes.
That's true.
But yeah, so we get into a dragon fight. It was a lot harder. I really enjoyed the fight. It was more of a situation where me and Abby's characters had to heal a lot more and use a little bit more of what we had been talking about last week, some support character kind of things, where we weren't just going all out attack on everything. We were kind of trying to like play more like the battlefield itself instead of just try to get all the attack, because druids don't have a huge damage output. They're more of a support character. They can have a huge damage output. They're more of a tank if you think about them as a large health pool.
Like an infinite health pool.
Kind of, yes. And that's what I kind of tried to do with my character. Abby was healing a lot. There was a lot of damage going into it in certain points. A lot of natural 20s. Unfortunately, though, Braun was frightened for almost the entire fight, as well as...
It was basically the... Like,
yeah.
I'm just going to take a second. I feel so bad
I
about that,
know,
man.
dude.
Like,
It's unfortunate.
For backstory, Michael, I think that was your first dragon, right? As
Yep.
like a player?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel terrible right now. Like, I've been thinking about this the whole week.
Well, I mean, you can't do anything about the fear.
No. It's just an
But, I mean,
unfortunate thing.
I had one turn to do something, and it was in the air, so...
Yeah. That's why we have Michael on today. We're going to talk a little bit about missing out on fights, because Animus also missed out on a fight on the Medusa fight, because his whole fight was spent trying to get over to Thea to make sure she didn't turn to stone and die.
She did, though.
Yeah. No, I turned her back. Okay, so just moving on. We'll get into that conversation. So moving on from there, we ended up killing the dragon. Lochner had this incredible ending that he stabbed it through the brain. It was a pretty cool sequence that Jacob had created. Braun had just gotten rid of his fright. Almost everyone else were frightened, and they were able to roll high enough to be unfrightened by a certain point in the fight to where they could start attacking. If you guys don't know what frightened means, it means your character can't move towards the enemy, and you roll with disadvantage. And the issue with Braun is that he is a rogue, and so rogues don't have much ranged attack. They're way better when it's close combat, and so he couldn't move towards the dragon the entire time, whereas a couple of the other people who were frightened could at least try to attack with magic from afar. And they ended up breaking their frightened thing as well. I couldn't think of the word, I'm sorry. But yeah, so we ended the fight. We got what we needed to from the dragon. We cut off the dragon's head. Lochnar's carrying that into town whenever we do. Then we knew there was a giant sum of gold somewhere. I was stupid. I literally knew it should have been underground. It was my first thing I asked Jacob. I was like, Jacob, can I look for some caves? And he's like, well, there's no caves around, after I rolled a 17. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's up in the air. And then Jacob's like, you can do something that would easily find it. And I was like, fuck. So I turned into a earth elemental, went underground, and I found a cave full of gold. We go underground. There's a couple magical items, nothing too stand outish, but definitely things that could be helpful in the future, which is a fun thing to find. Just random stuff that you could never think of using at the time, but when the time comes, it'll be useful.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys do with that music box.
I would like to point out I'm trying to save the music box in the bag of holding without anyone else taking it, because I don't want to be letting anyone just hold that thing on. I just want everyone to know it's in the bag of holding.
It's basically going to be a hand grenade we're just going to toss at
At
a group of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jacob's going to regret giving it to us whenever we throw it into a fucking giant group of a boss battle, and we're all just 500 feet away. But
yeah, but it's a charming effect, so people that are immune to charm it won't work on.
That's true. But anyway, so we found a bunch of gold, 81,000 gold to be exact. We did a little bit of math. Maybe it was off, maybe it wasn't. But 81,000 gold sounds like about a correct amount to be in a dragon's hoard. If we break it up, we ended up giving 6,000. Well, we haven't done it yet, but we're going to be giving 6,000 to the village to help them rebuild. There was also 30 total sapphires. So if you break up the gold, we each got 12,500 gold. And the group is going to get 15 sapphires, and then we're also giving 15 sapphires to the town, which in the Dungeon Master's Guide, one sapphire is 1,000 gold. So 15,000 gold will pretty much be going towards the guild hall.
It also depends on the quality of the stone.
That's true, yeah. It'll be depending on that. But roughly 15,000 gold will go into the guild hall itself, and roughly 15,000 gold will be going towards the village also. And how we also broke that up is we're deciding to try to use 15,000 gold. We haven't talked to Jake about this yet, so this is going to be the first time he hears this. We're trying to get an enchanter to create like a pocket dimension vault in our tavern that basically just like create a little like bag of holding that, I guess not bag of holding, but like, you know what I mean.
It'd be an extra dimensional portal.
Yeah, it'd be a portal that just goes into a little pocket dimension that's you can keep a bunch of shit in without people knowing about it, or just by only the people who know the secret password in or whatever it would be to get in. So yeah, that was the end of our fight. We do need to find a way to get all that gold back because there is a weight limit in Dungeons and Dragons. It's not like Skyrim where you can just hold 90,000 gold without anything happening. So you guys will see that next episode how we do that. We've already kind of talked through it off camera because we didn't want that to be a big 30-minute conversation on camera. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the conversations. Zach, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I have a question for Jacob to start it off, as always. The dragon used some legendary actions during the fight.
Yes.
Could you kind of explain what that is?
All right, boys, girls, and non-binary folks. Legendary action is something that high-level monsters can do. And it basically makes it to where they can have a turn in between the turn of the players. It allows them to do certain things. So, like, for example, the dragon could only do 3 things. One was a perception check, one was a tail attack, and one was a wing attack. Different creatures have different legendary actions. For example, beholders can shoot their eye stalks. Things like that. So the party will probably be running into stuff like that in the future more often because the higher level creatures can do that sort of thing. It makes it to where if a creature, if like a boss fight or a dragon or something rolls a low initiative, they can still do something before the entire party can.
It makes them a true boss pretty much. It's like they're not just another character in an initiative. They're like, you know, you're in a boss fight when they have legendary actions. So
Good deal. Caleb, move on to you.
oh sweet.
So I remember exactly the circumstances, but I guess before Braun came back to the group, you went out and found some poison mushroom
Oh yeah.
things. I guess like what are your plans for, all the mushrooms and whatnot that you've been picking up over the last couple of months?
So from the very start, I think like right before we even started streaming, I had been asking Jacob, did Jacob freeze or is he still there?
Yeah, he froze.
No.
We're gonna wait for a sec. Don't worry.
No.
I will cut this in
Through the power of editing.
through the power
We're
of
back.
editing.
And then when he comes back, I'll do the clap again.
Yeah. Just re-ask the question because that's where I'll
Yeah.
start off. But
Oh no, that defeats the purpose of the clap then.
for you guys watching, sorry that Jacob's internet sucks, but
Jacob.
oh Jacob.
Insert technical difficulties music here.
I will explain. So if for anybody watching right now, I'll explain the pocket dimension thing that we're trying to set up. So basically, in Dungeons and Dragons, what a bag of holding is like it's like a Mary Poppins bag. It's a little bag that's probably like it's carryable, but you can once you put something in, it's like a portal that goes into another dimension, which is called a pocket dimension, and it can hold a certain amount of things depending on the size of the bag. We all have large bags, so we have like a 20 by 20 foot or 60 by 60 foot space inside this pocket dimension that you can kind of throw a bunch of stuff in, and it has like a certain amount of weight space as well. So for what we have, it's a 500-pound. I think we got the dimensions off. I think it's more like 30 by 30 foot, but yeah, that is the same idea as using a pocket dimension vault. And if anyone kind of remembers, Anzu has a pocket dimension in the bottom of his school back in Westruun. and basically there, him and Richter, it being his son, his found son, is a dragon, and the dragon's lair is a pocket dimension that he can open up and you can store a bunch of stuff in. So that is what we're kind of trying to create. Is like, it's almost just like a little vault, like a little closet. It's about closet size, and you would be able to store things in there without anyone else being able to see. All right, now that Jacob's back, you didn't miss anything, Jacob. Don't worry, I was explaining what a pocket dimension is.
He froze.
And hey,
No, you're good,
Are you
Jacob.
serious? What the heck?
You're just off a little bit.
Yeah, you're
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
That's just the camera.
Okay. Zach, go ahead and jump into it.
Technology.
lagging really bad.
yeah.
It's okay. We'll get through this. Don't worry.
Yep.
All right, and we're starting. All right, Caleb, on to you. So throughout the adventure, Animus has been kind of picking up like mushrooms and whatnot. So I guess, do you have any plans for those?
Yeah, so from the beginning of the campaign, like before we even started streaming, I constantly have asked Jacob when we're walking through a forest, I'm like, hey, can I go look for some random herbs or some mushrooms? Basically, like what I like to do with those is, if I'm getting something randomly and Jacob is giving me those random things, it's just like stuff that's like I can use in a situation. Let me actually look at what I have right now. In any situation given, like compared to like what they are. So throughout all of this time, Jacob has allowed me to find 8 orange mushrooms which have a placebo effect, like kind of like a drug placebo effect. Pixie floss, which is a skin and teeth treatment. You never know when that's going to come in handy. 2 blue mushrooms, which are laxatives. That was a funny joke to play on Anzu. Halfling weed, which I bought because every once in a while he will give some people some halfling weed. It's just that's more flavor. 3 pink mushrooms, which you can hallucinate and possibly see the future. And then 1 duskwort, which I got, which is poison. And so like all those kind of things are like, if you're in a story and you can think like, okay, what could I use poison for? I could use poison to try to kill a target if I need to, or make someone sick. If I wanted to get someone out of a room at the time, I could use the laxative. It's kind of like that kind of stuff. I just enjoy having random things that Jacob has me roll for, pretty much, and it's just fun to like use that kind of stuff. So
That's fair. That's all I got.
all right, we're gonna jump into this conversation about the battle, and Michael, as a player before as a character, what are your thoughts on how that fight went? Just unlucky rolls for being able to get out of the frightened.
Well, I mean, it sucked because that's one thing that Braun lacks is any sort of like wisdom checks of any kind, and the number to beat was like 17, so I'd have to roll like a natural 17 or higher. I have like a 5-10% chance of doing it, even with like advantage on it from Thea.
Yeah.
So that part in itself is frustrating, just being kept out of a fight completely, even if it's like Braun didn't even get hit by anything, which is fine too, but just not being able to do anything for me was pretty frustrating, but it affected Braun more than me as a player, because I understand that's just how shit goes sometimes.
Yeah, and for me,
Don't worry, you'll do amazing when you fight the Beholder. You'll do great.
And for me, that was kind of the same thing. Obviously, Medusa fight. I don't know if you would consider that as big of a dragon fight. Dungeons and Dragons is a But Medusa, I've never fought a Medusa before. That was really, it was going to be really cool. But me and Abby were kept out of that fight with her being turned to stone. I was the only other healer in the group, able to bring her back. So it's like, yeah, it's just really unfortunate when that kind of stuff happens. The other thing, I mean, It's hard, kind of, because your character deals out so much damage because of the other abilities you have that are so high, even though your wisdom is lacking for it. And that's
Yeah.
almost the only way Jacob can like be like, oh, this is how Lochnar and Braun could be at least given some sort of disadvantage, which in this situation ended up cutting you out of the fight overall, which really sucks. But so talk to us about like what that's now going to do for Braun, because I know at the very end of the episode you kind of had him play very frustrated at the fact that his character was frightened of something when he's supposed to be a very courageous person.
Yeah, so that goes back to his backstory, and that's gonna uh, play into things that are going to be happening in the next stream with him. Because like the big reason of why he's doing what he's doing was because of an something that happened to him when he was young, where he got his first scar being hunted by something and only being able to basically be afraid and run away. And now he's basically grown up and had all of these other fights and experiences, and now suddenly it's like, oh, I really haven't grown up. I'm still just a coward.
Yeah,
And so that's going to be a big thing with the upcoming stream with him, at least. So
yeah.
he's definitely frustrated and just with himself more than anything else.
It really
I think
it's
that that's a good thing for a player though to have a problem because that allows you to do more character growth with Braun. Because I know that in our conversations, you've kind of been like, I don't like Braun's kind of clean slatey, and
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it just it, he needs specific circumstances to get out there. You know, like him getting the group together for the get every airing the dirty laundry, so to speak, and whenever we bought the guild hall and
yeah.
things like that, because he is pretty reserved for most cases, but he was extremely excited about being able to fight a dragon because it's like a real test of your mettle. And again, it wasn't ego, it was just the excitement made him so giddy, and that's why he even played that prank on Lochnar in the hole when Andrew threw down the little light to him, and he's like, "Oh, this is God speaking, Lochnar." It's just because he was so giddy about getting ready to go fight a fucking dragon,
Yeah.
and that's why it made it that much worse.
and I mean like that's sometimes that just happens in D&D, and like it's a sucky part of it, but like there's a lot of opportunity that can come out of this, and this will not be the last dragon that Braun sees.
No,
So
we already have a dragon
Maybe.
we're supposed to go back and kill
maybe, I
at
mean, if he dies somehow, that would suck. But
that would be
Well,
highly
it's not
unfortunate.
just that. Like I mean, I don't want to underplay or overplay what happened, but because we'll see it in a few days on the stream. But it was a big deal to Braun. That's his goal, is to do those things. It's like if, I don't know, Animus had been been going down this big path to figure out how to get back to his home plane, and then it ends up being just a dead end, or there's nothing there or something like that. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's kind of like he's collecting the swords, but that's almost like a hobby
Yeah, it's like
than anything else.
a side
Yeah.
project. It's like I mean, honestly, it almost like because the only way I can kind of connect to this, and I know there's a couple other players in our group can connect to this. It's like Braun hasn't had a point yet where it completely flipped how you're gonna play your character. It's like Animus was going through like, okay, my only goal right now is super set in stone in my mind, in Caleb's mind, was okay, Animus is gonna go out there, he's gonna get stronger through his quest for the Aramente, and then he's going to get back to the Shadow Plane, and then he's gonna kill this warlock that's kind of taking over. Well, then I got warlock powers from a demon, and now I have to go through the fact that I have to hunt these people down for whatever reason for him to take their souls. And going through my first Aramente, the mind trip was seeing an entire background of my character that I obviously misread or misremember. So now I'm completely playing my character very differently. Instead of being as straightforwardly a good person, I'm kind of starting to have these like slight evil tendencies that I think are kind of coming out of him based on the fact that there's a demon that's tempting him to do stuff. There's stuff in his background that's kind of showing him, hey, maybe you're not as good as you think you are. And as well as like, I know this happened to Thea, because Abby kind of talked about this earlier a couple weeks ago. She just kind of thought like, oh, my character's in a weird place, and it affects you as a player, because you're like, oh, I don't know how to play this right now, and but it definitely helps out in going forward, because you're gonna have this like this whole new story arc on top of your current story arc. That's like, yeah, he was always kind of trying to become this really great non-cowardly person, and we thought that he was at that point, but now you're like, maybe he needs to work on that more. And so it just adds another layer of things that you can definitely add to the story, which is it's always fun when you have more to add to the story. So
Yeah, and it'll go because I don't think he ever really shared that bit with the group anyway. It was more of, I think whenever he described his why he became an adventurer was one of the questions we were asking the whole group, and it started with him seeing Mallory showing up there, and her wielding the scimitars, and because of his recent accident is what spurred him to approach her and learn from her, was because he didn't like that feeling and didn't want to feel that way again. So that's what started him becoming an adventurer. It wasn't just the like, oh, those swords are cool. There
yeah,
was more to it.
yeah, of course,
So we'll get into that some more too, I'm sure.
yes.
I'm interested to see what character tries to console Braun. I'm interested because I could see it going a few different ways. I'm sure Anzu will try and fail miserably because Anzu's very bad at giving advice. But
Even though he's supposed to be this great teacher, he's good at teaching, bad at advice.
hey, he's good at teaching how to explode stuff, man.
Yep.
Like not all teachers are good at doing anything other than the
Emotional
subject.
stuff.
Well,
yeah.
that could just be kind of a public persona too. I mean,
Yeah, true.
some people change depending on, what's around them and who's around them.
I would say, without giving too much away, Animus could have been at a point where he would talk to Braun and might still be at that point. But how I'm currently playing him and how I've played him the past few weeks since I had to kill, what's her name? I forget now. Tabitha, there we go.
Wow, dude.
I have a bad memory. I'm super sorry.
super
Tabitha.
Super dramatic moment. You're like,
It was a
I
pivotal
killed
moment
that
for your
chick."
character. It's like, what's her
When
name?
I'm explaining things, it just pops out of my brain. It's like, oh yeah, it's Tabitha, and then when it comes out of my mouth, it's like, oh, it's that one person. But yeah, depending on how, I don't know how it would end up, but he's kind of in a different headspace right now. I would almost think it'd be Zygon or Thea, who, because Zygon's coming to a more earthly point of view, if that makes sense, because of his new discovery of his family. He's kind of getting some more like emotion for general relationship back, and Thea always being a very caring
Dude, I'm
character.
calling it right now. It's gonna be Lochnar, and Lochnar's gonna say, "I want you to punch me."
Oh,
And then Braun will
Lochnar.
be like, "I'm not gonna punch you, Lochnar." And then Lochnar will provoke Braun into a fight, and then they'll fight each other.
I want to see what happens if
would love that.
Lochnar and the Earth Elemental had like a boxing match. I was thinking about like doing a training montage, like Rocky or something.
Even Rocky had a montage.
Jacob, is there anything you wanted to bring up? I thought we were talking about something earlier.
Gather round.
Oh boy.
Gathered.
Oh, your mic cut out right when you said that.
All right.
Okay.
My mic went unplug, and I
Oh.
went. No.
Oh yeah, we did too.
Anyway, so in game, you guys will get back to him on, I would say probably in another day, which we will most likely skip over. That means you will have about 10 days before the tournament starts.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I thought you said it was gonna take a while.
Well, you beat the Medusa in a day. You went and fought the dragon in a day, and then you came back in a day. It's been 4 days.
That's true. We're gonna have to probably have a montage through 2
Or
weeks.
you could go do other stuff,
Wasn't that
like say,
Locknar's deadline?
Yeah, Lochner
Yeah.
said his deadline is 2 weeks. That's why. Well, I think.
Ragnar, you guys could
Oh.
go to Vasselheim and be back in time for the tournament if you want.
Yeah, but I think there's gonna be more stuff going on in that continent of the world for a while, just because I also have
Maybe.
stuff to go on over there.
Well, we can always go back there. I know Zygon's wanting to see his wife over
Yeah.
there. Well,
That's why I'm thinking once we go over there, we stay over there. So that's what I was just like proposing. I think it's less Lochnar, more Corey who wants to get over to Vasselheim to start like that progression of his story arc. So I think just
I
like
have news for you, buddy. Corey and Lochnar are the same person.
that's true. Well, like that's what I meant is like he's not as much playing Lochnar as he is just playing himself wanting to go over to Vasselheim.
Yes, but him and Lochnar are the same.
I
Therefore,
know.
he is playing Lochnar.
Okay, never mind.
But yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for the tournament. It's gonna be so fun. Everybody's gonna get a character moment. It's gonna be beautiful.
I would personally be okay with the next episode being a montage throughout it, but that would be more of a group discussion, so I cannot make that decision.
That's why I'm
myself.
telling you guys now, so you can talk in the group chat among
Yeah.
yourselves and decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm good if you guys are good.
Yeah, yeah, I mean we're good then. Well, we're
Great
gonna
outro.
yeah.
10 out of 10.
No, I'm not at the outro yet, Zach. So fuck you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Zach. So we've talked about Rice Krispies. We did a little.
Stop
bit
it!
of Cheerios.
Stop it! No! Don't do this to me. All right, guys.
Hear me out on this one.
All right, guys.
Frosted
Nope.
Flakes with marshmallows.
Nope. I'm gonna mute them.
Are
I'm
actually
literally
really
mute them.
good.
All right. I literally just muted them, so I can't. I still can hear them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Gosh dang it. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Check us out next week on the recap show, and then we're also going to
Cookie
be
Crisp,
having.
though, is pretty good.
Jacob, shut up. And also this weekend we have us coming back from the dragon fight with all of our gold and everything we just talked about. So make sure to stay up to date with that kind of stuff. So Kimmy just walked up right next to me and burped right. Why?
See, even
Kimmy was in on destroying my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching the weekly recap show.
Wife.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for watching the weekly recap show. Please join us next time and check us out on Sunday. Bye.